All right, good evening, guys. Ryan here alongside Chandler, Michigan
What
Storm
up?
Chasers. We are going to be going over the next 48 to 72 hours worth of weather here in Michigan. A lot of confusion. It's pretty complicated out there. Let's go ahead and dive into the walkthrough and what to expect beginning now and going out until Sunday. So, if you are living under a rock, we have a 2 or 3 part system working its way through beginning tonight. Let's go ahead and take this full screen while go ahead and walk you guys through this. This is the NAM model, a shorter term resolution, high resolution guidance, gives us a better idea of what to expect. So snow begins later tonight, actually kind of right now, really, about 8, 9 o'clock in the UP, perhaps starting in western lower Michigan around the 10, 11 o'clock time frame. That'll begin to overspread the state here as light snow. It's not going to be heavy. This is not really the main event we're concerned about, but it could dump, 1 to up to 4 inches in spots across much of the state here overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. So the entire state gets that round of snow. Notice a gap here in the morning hours on Saturday. Also a gap up here in the UP. So it could stop snowing for a brief time Saturday morning. But as we get later in the day, further south, it turns into perhaps a mix of sleet and freezing rain. And then it turns into, again, all snow for points further northward here into lower Michigan, the UP. This freezing rain and sleet will be ongoing across much of Saturday, across much of southern Michigan. As this moves into Saturday afternoon, evening, we again get a little bit of a break there for some of these areas. Notice how South Michigan is kind of spotty precip here. Well, further north is mainly good light to moderate snow falling. As we move into the day on Saturday, we kind of clear out for the afternoon here until our second and main system we're watching starts to develop to our south. And by late Saturday night, we are again getting a mix of freezing rain further south, snow further north, and that's going to continue overnight Saturday into the day on Sunday. Going forward into the evening and the overnight hours on Saturday, here's midnight. Some heavier snow begins to filter in, and that heavier snow will stick around for many hours overnight Saturday into Sunday morning, and that will continue throughout Sunday morning here. We're going to pause it right here at noon. And this is a time frame it starts to kind of move out there. 1, 2, 3, 4 p.m. It's still snowing here. We're going to stay by to the system Sunday evening. And then we're left with some lake effect snow potential for Monday, which we're not going to talk about here. But we could see lake effect snow. So kind of like a 3-part system, 2 main parts with a third lake effect part coming in for Sunday into Monday there. So that is your walkthrough according to the models. Now, in terms of the forecast for snow and ice, these guys, you may be surprised. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into our snowfall forecast here. This is what we're going off of based on a plethora of model guidance. We are going 7 to 11 inches for a 48-hour period beginning tonight, going until Sunday. This is not just for tonight. This is until that Sunday time period. That is important. A lot of you guys have messaged us saying, hey, my weather app, or hey, NWS says this. It's for the first part of the system tonight. The winter weather advisories that are out there are in effect for the snow tonight into the day tomorrow. They end Saturday evening, and then winter storm watches will likely need to be issued. In fact, we already have a couple winter storm watches in effect in southeast Michigan for that second part of the system. So it's 2-part. It's not a full continuous system. It's going to be broken up into sections here. So do take note. Your weather apps, some forecasts you probably see are only forecasting for the snow tonight. In terms of what to expect tonight and only tonight, let's go ahead and flip over to the model and kind of walk you guys through the time frame here for the snowfall accumulation. So here we go into the evening hours. This is about right now, 8 o'clock or so. We're starting to see accumulations across southwest Michigan and the UP in about an hour or two. That's going to continue. And we're going to pause it here around noon Saturday, maybe early afternoon Saturday here. We see a nice blanket across the state of 1 to as much as 4 or 5, maybe 6 inches if you're lucky in spots there. So it's not going to be a heavy snow tonight, but it will be advisory type of snow where it will slick travel tonight into tomorrow morning. So do take that in mind. However, the heavier snow, if you go ahead and continue throughout Saturday, begins to fill in here. There's a break during the afternoon. We get into Sunday morning, though. Here comes our system that's going to dump us a lot of snow. And by the time we get to Sunday afternoon, there is our major system moving through. And this is, again, kind of overinflated, but same thing applies here. The heavier snow comes later. it's not going to all fall tonight. So our snow forecast, going back to that, when you combine all these systems together, 7 to 11 inches across much of lower Michigan. Up there in the thumb in red areas, up to northeast lower, we're going 10 to 14 inches. We could see isolated higher amounts as well. Further south, we need to talk about that mixing we talked about just a few minutes ago. Some mix of sleet and freezing rain, a possibility south of I-94 there, where you see those blue sections, the 4 to 8 inch zone of snow. The reason that is a lower amount is because of that sleet and freezing rain mixing in there, but still a good moderate accumulation of 4 to 8 inches from Detroit to Adrian to Coldwater back through Niles. That kind of rides the West Michigan shoreline up toward Traverse City in a 4 to 8 zone there. Obviously, minus Muskegon, Ludington areas, we went ahead and called for 7 to 11 there, but elsewhere, our 4 to 8 will be the case along the lakeshore. Going further north of the UP, 4 to 8 is the main show across much of the UP. Isolate areas could see higher amounts toward the Marquette. And then further south of there toward Crystal Falls, you guys are going to have a little bit less amounts in terms of the snowfall. Now, let's talk about ice. Ice could be an issue with this system. We've gone conservative with our first call forecast here, and that is only because there's still some uncertainty on where the exact placement of the ice will set up. But we could be looking at a little bit more in the way of these ice amounts, especially across like Adrian, Ann Arbor, Detroit, Wixom areas. We could be looking at 2/10, perhaps as much as a 1/4 inch of ice if the system takes its, let's just say, the right track. It will have a nice ice accretion across parts of southeast Michigan there. So we go on conservative up to 1/10 of an inch right now, but we're kind of seeing potential there for higher amounts. We'll have to update that tomorrow for you guys. As far as timing goes, this is for tonight's system. We'll have another timing system for you guys tomorrow morning for the second part of the system. But for the most part, 9 p.m. start time for most of us tonight. If it's not already snowing out there, it'll begin pretty soon. Further inland, 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. there in yellow. And then going into the green zones, 2 to 5 a.m. And then blue zones, 3 to 6. Purple, 4 to 8 a.m. is going to be your start time this evening / overnight into the morning hours. One last thing to talk about here, and that is the wind. Winds are going to be a concern throughout the day on Sunday. They'll be pretty calm, relatively below 20, 25 miles per hour for tonight into tomorrow. When we get to that Sunday morning time frame, winds will begin to pick up across much of the state. We could see gusts as high as 45 miles per hour, but generally speaking, 35 or so would be the expectation across much of Michigan. When you combine that with the heavy snow, you're going to get low visibility, blowing and drifting conditions. It's going to make things worse out there for Sunday morning and afternoon. So do take note of that. Sunday morning and afternoon is going to be worst for travel, as well as the worst of the impacts expected. As we talked about just recently, we have a couple alerts out, starting with the winter weather advisory for pretty much all of Michigan, minus the western part of the UP. That is, again, for tonight's and only tonight's snowfall. Let's rephrase that. Tonight and tomorrow. Snowfall into the evening hours tonight, into tomorrow morning. This is what the advisory is for. For that second part of the system that begins late Saturday into Sunday, winter storm watches will likely be needed. We already have the entirety of southeast Michigan there within that watch. We'll likely see more added tomorrow afternoon at the latest. So I know there's a lot of concern, a lot of questions out there. So let's go ahead and throw it back over here to Chandler and I. Before I do that, I do want to highlight the NWS forecast just because I've seen a lot of uncertainty with people. This is NWS's forecast through Sunday, 7 p.m. So from right now through Sunday evening, NWS pretty much agrees with us here. Widespread 6 to 12 event with some areas getting close to 18 inches there from bad acts, even more aggressive than our forecast in places. So with that being said, I just want to highlight that. And as far as the ice totals go, we are seeing NWS also kind of agree with our assumption that we could have some higher ice amounts there, anywhere from 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch there across southeast Michigan, especially along the Irish Hills where the higher elevations are. We could see a little bit higher icing in terms of those areas. But that is all I have to share with you guys. So overall, happy Valentine's Day. It's complicated this year.
Ryan, one of the questions we had here was, do you think that we could see blizzard criteria in the thumb in different eastern parts of the state on Michigan or on Sunday?
Yeah, that's a good question here. So if we combine those wind gusts, we're going to say 35 miles per hour. If we can sustain those for 3 hours in length, that would technically be blizzard criteria. Looking at the model here, I can kind of walk you guys through it. Going for the wind gusts, let's go ahead and pop that up on the screen here. So here is Sunday afternoon. We're seeing wind gusts sustain itself from about 10 a.m. Sunday. Here's 11, here's 12, here's 1. So we're seeing borderline criteria here. So even if no blizzard warnings get issued, which likely will not be issued, we could still meet criteria very briefly in places. So regardless of any blizzard warnings, conditions will be pretty bad out there, especially across Southeast Michigan. We see these green colors from the thumb all the way down through Flint, Lansing, Coldwater areas, points eastward. Those are the highest wind gusts. That's also where the heaviest snow will be falling around the same time frame.
Great stuff there, Ryan. Thank you. Thank you, Ashley, for the $5 super chat. She said, thank you, Michigan Storm Chasers, for everything that you do, and thank you to the amazing admins that are always on top of it. We love our admins here very much. Thank you to the admins as well. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. Red Dozer, thank you again. $20 super chat. We do really appreciate that here at the channel. And last but not least, Summer, thank you for the 8 months worth of membership. Do appreciate that. Another great question here, Ryan. Shannon wants to know, what about thunder snow? We had a little bit of a tease earlier in the week with thunder snow. Do you think maybe we could see that again this weekend?
So overall chances for thunder snow are quite low with this system. There's not really a lot of upper level instability, so to speak. But with these synoptic snow systems, especially of this strength, you never want to rule it out isolated. But in terms of things we're looking for to be like, oh yeah, we're getting excited for it. We're not excited for it, but overall chance is low there. So I'd say lean against snow, but never want to rule it out.
Again, looks like we're having a couple specific requests here for snow totals. Ryan, if you want to put our snowfall map back up there, we'll put that back up there, and you can take a look at that and see where you lie on the map and see what contour you're in. Again, we got the 4 to 8, the 7 to 11 plus, as well as the 10 to 14 for the extreme eastern parts of the state and the thumb. Another question we had here, Ryan, was, let's see if I can find it. Is a winter storm watch where the heaviest snow is going to be? What does a winter storm watch criteria need to meet?
We have a graphic for that. So for winter storm watches, conditions will be favorable for a winter storm event, which is a threat to life or property. Right now, a lot of places in Michigan for that second system will likely meet the watch criteria. So the warning criteria, though, is heavy snow of 6 inches in 12 hours or 8 inches in 24 hours, and then sleet of a 1/2 inch or more. Many places across Michigan will see that 6-inch mark within 12 hours. I would expect numerous watches by the time tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon rolls around. I'd also expect numerous warnings with this system as well.
That also kind of answered another question that said, do you think Southeast Michigan will see a winter storm warning? If current model trends continue, I would say, yeah, probably.
Yes. Yeah. Barring anything significant happening where we see a bunch of dry air filling in like we did last time, I don't think it's going to happen this time, though. But yeah, it's likely going to have a lot of warnings with this system.
Thank you. Passed by ASMR. Happy Valentine's Day. Stay safe. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Cindy Davidson as well. Thank you for all the updates. You're welcome. It's what we're here for. It's what we love to do. Summer's wondering, when is our last call for snow totals going to be?
Last call for snow totals probably tomorrow, because this is like a 2-part event, almost 3-part event. We wanted to put a second call out there today before we went for a final call, just because there's still just a little bit of uncertainty with the track of the system. Overall, though, another update will come tomorrow, likely be our final call, and then we'll just adjust from there if we see anything significant change. So expect a complete updated forecast package tomorrow around that 4 o'clock time frame as usual.
We had a question here. How much snow are we looking at likely for tonight and into the early morning for tomorrow, Ryan? I know we kind of covered that right away. Maybe we could revisit that.
Yep. So tonight won't be significant. Some places in Michigan will get 1 inch. Some places will get 4, maybe 5 at most. So tonight, here's the model for the evening. Actually, yeah, this is the one I want to show you. This is the evening model here. We're seeing by the time we get to tomorrow around noon, we're seeing a nice blanket across Michigan of 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 inches in spots. Luckily, maybe if you're lucky, maybe 5. So
you're gonna take that full, so it's a little easier to see.
Yeah. Yep. So if you're lucky out there, maybe 5 inches. But again, there's going to be kind of spotty accumulation. Some places may get 1 inch, some may get 3, some may get 2, some may get 5. But it's not going to be significant until we get to that Saturday evening into Sunday timeframe. That's where the heaviest is going to fall. We have Alex joining us here in the background. There we go. We got the full crew here tonight.
Hey guys.
Nope.
We had a 5-month membership from Elizabeth. My son Caleb wants to give a shout out. Love you guys. What up, Caleb?
What's up, man?
Thanks for
Hey,
checking us
Caleb.
out. Thank you, Elizabeth, for having them watch us here. This is another good question here, Ryan and Alex. What are the chances these systems fall apart due to dry slots and dry air like the last two did? Is that a possibility?
I'll throw that to Alex.
Well, there is always that possibility. However, this time, because of this first system, because of what's called that warm air advection, that lift that's created with that, it basically expands the precip field so that by the time that secondary system comes in on Saturday afternoon and evening, there's a lot of moisture already in place. So as you can see, as Ryan's kind of looping that, you see all that kind of drier kind of um, dissipate, and that moisture just it basically expand. So as that system rapidly deepens, it's going to draw in a lot of moisture already in place. So a lot of the times we're weary about thunderstorms, heavy rain and thunderstorms down to our south. In that graphic there that Ryan has, you can see those darker greens from like southern Indiana down through Tennessee. Those would be thunderstorms that Ryan's kind of drawing there. A lot of the times we're sometimes worried about that could rob the moisture, but this time, because there's already moisture in place from this first system, we're not as worried as we were the last time. So moisture is aplenty this time.
Thank you, Alex. Another $2 super chat from Ashley. See, you guys rock. We think that you rock here, Ashley. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. You rock.
Thank you.
We had one more here from Mr. Brian. ETA on the Saturday night cell hitting the 127 corridor south of Jackson. It's more of a storm than a cell, I would say. But if you want to throw our timing map back up there, Ryan, or just show the model, whichever you want to do.
I'll show the model. We don't have a timing map for Saturday night just yet, but I will pull up the model here for you. Give me 1 second here. So Saturday evening, Saturday evening is right about, again, here's a break. And then as we move into, we're going to say right about here, about midnight Saturday into Sunday morning. The later you get into Saturday, the heavier it's going to become. It really starts getting heavy around that midnight time frame. And that's going to continue for the rest of the morning into Sunday morning. So expect that to really ramp up there the later you get into Saturday.
Thank you to Jacob for gifting 5 Michigan Storm Chasers membership. Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Jacob.
Thank you.
Let's see here. I'm trying to see what else is in here. I'm trying to catch up on the comments. Do we think there's a high risk of power outages given the potential icing followed by the winds? Is there a significant chance of freezing rain outside of Southeast Michigan to cause power issues?
So right now, our concern for ice storm plus wind impacts is quite low. If we can get to that quarter-inch mark, we become a little more concerned there. Confidence, again, is low. It's a possibility. Pull up that map again from NWS. They kind of have parts of like Ann Arbor, for example, within that 0.23 range. That's close to criteria. If we combine that with some winds, we definitely could see some power outages. But generally speaking, across the state, 35 to 45 mile per hour winds could cause isolated outages as it is across the state. So yes, isolated outages are possible.
Another super chat here from Traffic. Thank you so much for all the updates. What do you think the snowfall total for Farmington Hills? We seem to be right in between the two colors on your map. That means you get to guess. Pick your favorite.
I would say probably 4 to 8 zone traffic. Although you're really close, as Chandler just mentioned. Some models as of late have pulled that mixing precip further north, cut down your totals. If that shifts out, we could be looking at 7 to 11. So.
There's a lot of comments in here asking for timing stuff for travel. Really, any time of travel before noon on Saturday could be a little iffy, depending on if you're north of the 94 corridor or south of it. If you're south of it, it might not be as bad as if you are north of it. And then again, by 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock Saturday evening, if you're really planning on traveling there at all, that's when travel conditions will continue to deteriorate throughout the night.
And echoing that there, tomorrow morning, 1 to 4 inches across the state. It could slick travel up there, so be advised. Break for the Saturday morning time frame, as Chandler just mentioned. There could be some freezing rain going on there. So further north, travel impacts are quite low. Further south could get really slick with the ice. And then it just kind of deteriorates from then on with the heavy snow coming in.
No, to my knowledge, Jim Cantori is not in Detroit. I don't know that for a fact, but
I think he left.
Sarah Vansley from Constantine Love staying updated. Appreciate it, neighbor. I'm around your area here. Let's see here. What else do we have? I'm trying to catch up on all the comments, you guys.
I got you. Thank you, Cheech, for the $5 super chat. Says or asks, will Eastern Wayne County snow totals be on the higher end? Right now, Wayne County is on the lower end. Again, it's not really a low event with this system. Excuse me. You're still within the 4 to 8 zone there. Get the it's off the screen there. There you go. So Wayne County there, 4 to 8. You are close technically to 7 to 11 zone. But right now, I think confidence is a little bit higher in mixing precip there. So I would say lower end for now. We'll adjust tomorrow based on tonight's model guidance and tomorrow model guidance. So expect an update if anything changes.
There's another question here from Violet. I've seen her ask this a couple times. It just keeps getting buried. When would be the safest time to travel from Ontario back home to Michigan? When on Sunday? There's really not going to be a great time unless you do it as close to Monday as possible. But everything's going to kind of continue into the Ontario area. So it's just, as of right now, is looking like a big walloping of snow pretty much the whole drive, most of the day on Sunday. The later you are in the day, the better it'll probably be. But
so I wanted to say two things about this. Number one, nice shirt, Elizabeth. I see you're rocking our merch. Number two,
Hey, love it.
Thank you for the super chat. Everything you do is inspiring. Love your dedication. Thank you, Elizabeth, for that super chat. Appreciate your support and for rocking the MSC merch. We got Sarah coming back for another month here. Thank you, Sarah.
6 months.
6 months, yep.
And on Featherstone. Know right where that is. Nice to meet you as well. Let's see here.
What about a drive from Chicago to Michigan Sunday? Slick. It's going to be slick across the board, across the state here. Regardless, between Friday to really tonight, you're saying Friday, it's tonight into that Sunday evening time frame. Monday will probably be a little bit better, but lake effect snow for Western Michigan will ramp up there. So if you're in a lake effect belt in West Michigan or the UP, snow will be ongoing for Monday. Elsewhere, though, travel should be much improved come Monday.
Thank you, Kevin. 10 Michigan Storm Chasers memberships. Appreciate that here. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the team, guys. Who just got gifted those.
Thank you. Will this go down as a blizzard again? The potential is there for it. It's a non-zero chance. Ryan, what do you think about a drive from Grand Rapids to Indy on Monday?
So 131 likely going to be a little bit slick there with lake effect snow showers likely ongoing. Further south you get, the better off you're going to be. For the most part, it should be lake effect snow, kind of spotty in nature. So it's going to be slick probably at some point during your travel, but when you got a state, it should be a little bit better. It also depends on how fast MDOT or INDOT in this case gets those roads salted and plowed and cleared. So that's going to be a big factor in how fast roads get improved because, you know, if we actually do verify the high end of foot of snow or near foot of snow for most of Michigan, it's probably going to be slow going come Monday. If we get the lower end of that, plows will be able to keep up a little bit better with it. So I'd plan for slick travel regardless, but it should be better than tonight, tomorrow, or Sunday. Timothy, just hop on YouTube and type in Michigan Storm Chasers. We should pop up as a live stream. Go to our channel. You can have there's also a tab you can click on that says live. That should take you right to this. Alex, question for you. Light snow or heavy snow in terms of weight? You're looking at fluffy or you're looking at the heavy wet?
We're starting with the heavy wet Saturday, tonight, overnight into Saturday. And then the snow will start lightening up as colder air starts filtering in. So as that system really starts cranking from Indiana into Ohio, it'll start dragging that colder air down. So snow ratios will increase. The snow will eventually get fluffier. And by the time we get into Monday with the lake effect, we're going to be getting really, really gritty, fine snow again, really light, fluffy, blowing around snow, kind of like the really, really fine crystals. That'll really reduce visibility pretty easily, even when the snow's not falling that heavily. So very wet to begin with, very dry to end.
And there's your answer. Thank you, Alex.
Sarah, thank you for the next super chat. We appreciate being the number one forecast for you. Thank you very much. I saw another question in here that said, ice fishing on Sunday, how bad is it going to be and where should I go? Well, I don't know where to tell you to go ice fishing. If I did, I probably wouldn't tell you anyway. However, on Sunday morning, so depending on where you are in the state, the further north you go, most likely the less snow you'll see as you get into Sunday. But again, it depends on where you are in the state, where you're comfortable going, and travel conditions really aren't going to be all that great to begin with a little bit of wind and the blowing snow. So good luck if you do go fishing. You want to put I've seen a couple questions, Ryan, for totals. You want to put our forecast map back up there so maybe those who missed it can, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah. This is also posted and pinned on the top of our Facebook page. So feel free to refer back to it. We have a long forecast discussion today, kind of explains kind of hour by hour type of situation. So feel free. Obviously, we're here to answer your guys' questions. We're going to answer the questions, but if you guys want to read through it and refer back to it, it is posted on our page for your viewing pleasure. I just want to read off questions, Chandler. I can just cycle through these graphics for these guys.
Yeah, give me just a sec. I felt something on the back of my head. It was a stink bug, so I'm going to go take care of that.
Oh, okay.
Careful. Yeah, like Ryan was saying, it's going to be a long, drawn-out system. So starting tonight, all the way 48 hours through Sunday night, and then there's going to be lake effect even for the west side of the state to follow on Monday into Tuesday. So again, the first 12 hours overnight tonight into Saturday morning, we're expecting those first few inches, at least 1 to 4, maybe 5 inches in spots, as that first round of snow moves in. And then for some, there may be even a break Saturday afternoon. So, don't let your guard down. That's just part one of the storm. And as that secondary storm comes in, the snow will fill back in. So as we were saying, after dinner time Saturday, as that snow begins to ramp up, that's when conditions will really deteriorate overnight and through the day on Sunday. So it's long, drawn out. Again, as you see on the snow map, 48 hours. We try, to have everything all wrapped up into one. So when you see these totals, these are for a long duration. You may see other places that have different totals for different times. So it's very important that while you're looking not only at our forecast, if you get forecasts from other places, to look at those timestamps to see exactly when we're forecasting. I know it can be confusing because this system is pretty complicated, but that's why we have everything all wrapped up into one, because this is going to be a long, drawn-out system.
There's a question here. Do we think there will be school on Tuesday? Pretty early to tell to make a decision for something like that. School cancellation on Monday, again, a little bit up in the air. If they're going to be more likely between two, they'll be more likely based on where you are in the state rather than Tuesday.
Also to note, Monday is President's Day. So some schools I don't believe have school at all Monday.
Some people don't have to work on Monday either. It'll be good for, I'm looking at you, Alex. It'll be good for those who have commutes who they won't normally have to take. Here's a good one here from the National Weather Kid. Storm Team 8 out of Grand Rapids said 4 to 7 inches in Allegan County. You guys said 7 to 11 plus. What's an accurate prediction? And it was from tonight to Tuesday morning. Again, our forecast here is 48-hour snowfall through Sunday night. I have not seen the Storm Team 8 graphic yet, so I don't know if it's through Saturday night, through Sunday morning. There is going to be more snow that continues on throughout the day, especially as the lake effect snow continues in on the backside. Allegan County is in one of the lake effect belts, so there is always the potential for increased totals there as well. So I can't fully answer your question because I don't know what the time frame that graphic is for.
And also, even if graphics do line up, sometimes we just have different opinions and different approaches to the forecast. Mm-hmm. So even if you see forecasts that line up with a little bit of a difference there, just give it a few days. It'll probably come into line here.
A $10 super chat here from Sky Spotters. Good evening. This is Blaine and Isaac. We have huge plans together on this new channel. Glad to see you guys tonight. Expecting potential for snow near both of us. It's awesome, guys. Good luck on your new channel. Wish you well. Thanks for popping in, and thanks for the super chat. Another question here for Thunder Snow. Ryan, you wanted to hit that one again, or you want to delegate to Alex?
Overall chances for Thunder Snow is quite low, but with these bigger synoptic systems, you never want to rule it out completely. If Alex wants to go in depth more about that, he can, but low chance, but don't rule it out.
Nothing I need to add. That's pretty good. It's right now low chance. We'll kind of watch it as the system spins up. A lot of the times, again, like the last system, you have that chance, but it's low right now.
There's another comment here. Do we think Dwajak will stay in the 7 to 11 inch range? The potential is for it to be there. Yeah, we got to see how weather models kind of continue to trend over the next 12 hours or so, and then really by that time it'll be where do the snow bands set up and how much do we see after that. So I'm hoping for it. Dwajak's pretty close here, and I'm ready to get the snowmobiles out on the trails around there. So I'm hoping. Another question here from Jordan. What is lake effect snow? I saw you were from Wisconsin earlier. Lake effect snow is snow that is created from colder air coming off the warmer waters of Lake Michigan and creating precipitation. The West Michigan area, kind of where it says Grand Rapids to Holland, Kalamazoo, the trace to 0.05 inch range is one of the bigger lake effect belts in the lower peninsula. Up near Gaylord, Grayling, Cadillac, they get a lot of lake effect snow up there as well. In the UP, there's a ton of lake effect snow during the winter time. $10 super chat here from East. Thanks for everything that we do. Thank you, East, for the super chat. We do appreciate that. We love doing this for everybody here. Carol, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate your support here. Ryan, what's the forecast for winds?
For winds there. So the wind is expected to stay relatively calm, up to about 20, 25 miles per hour tonight into tomorrow. When we start getting close to that system moving up Saturday evening, and especially Sunday morning, we're going to start seeing winds increase, and gusts up to 35 to 45 miles per hour will be likely throughout the morning on Sunday into the afternoon Sunday. When you combine that with the heavier snow, we could be seeing low visibility, perhaps zero visibility, as well as blowing, drifting conditions out there. So keep that in mind Sunday morning, afternoon. It could get pretty gnarly out there. And I see a couple questions in here about blizzard criteria. Blizzard criteria is technically, they're in the bottom left there, blizzard watch, although I don't think they have a watch anymore. But the criteria there is low visibility, a quarter mile, less than a quarter mile, with winds at least 35 miles per hour for 3 hours would be blizzard warning criteria there. So we'd have to have winds above 35 miles per hour for over 3 hours to get blizzard criteria. Overall, I don't think warnings are likely at this point, but doesn't mean that conditions are going to be okay, so to speak. They're going to be quite gnarly out there.
Thanks again, Sky Spotters. Another $2 super chat. Y'all love the snow. We sure do. We do tend to enjoy it here at Michigan Storm Chasers. And then I want to put one more up here. Sorry, I just got to find it. Sorry, slow. From Julie. Thanks for upgrading your membership, Cora. I think I butchered your name. I'm so sorry. If I did not mean to. It'd be my dyslexic eyes reading too fast. So if I did butcher your name, my apologies. Another question here, Ryan, for you. When Ryan was showing the precip and radar earlier, what did the red color represent? I know blue is snow, pink is ice, green is rain, but there's red out in Iowa and through Chicago.
Talking like this right here, that's
I'm
sleet.
assuming so.
That is sleet.
Sleet. Awesome.
And there is your color key right there. So the heavier the sleet gets, the more red it becomes. And that's something we should talk about too. The sleet with this system could be a half inch to an inch at times. It's going to be pretty, dare I use a new term, sleety out there. It's going to be pretty
wow.
sleety. Moderators, add that to the dictionary.
So yeah, you got such a way with words, Ryan.
I do. I have so many Ryan words. It's crazy. If Julie has or Dawn has the list here in chat, feel free to drop it. I don't know if they keep track of it, but they do it behind the scenes. It's a whole behind the scenes joke. But I see a couple questions in here about traffic, excuse me, traffic and travel graphics for this event. So we do have those today, although they're not really high impact, so to speak. We're going to post these when we're done here. We will be doing more of these graphics, including our traffic map tomorrow. That'll be covering for that late Saturday system into Sunday. But this covers tonight into the morning hours tomorrow. So overall, just medium impacts across much of the state. South Michigan, especially southeastern, could see a freezing rain right around that noon time frame. And if that does occur, we could see some higher impacts because a nice layer of freezing rain is going to slick roadways up. It could be a mess out there. So we did go high impact in southeast Michigan around that noon time frame tomorrow. Everywhere else is just pretty much medium impacts across the areas.
The sleetification of a weather event. Yes.
Oh, goodness. Here we go.
Sleetification. That is a good one. I will give bonus points to Kevin for that one.
Yep.
This is a good question from the Batchman. Will we be having live coverage?
Likely, yes.
Okay.
Throughout the day on Sunday.
I didn't want to make that decision if it was made already.
So the plan, not a guarantee, but we're going to go live on Sunday, and it may be the first time we display our new streaming software. So we may be on a different platform, but a different back-end software. So it may look a little bit different to you guys, but it'll be the same old streams. So we look forward to that.
Works, Tim. Thank you for the $2 super chat. We appreciate it.
Anything else you want to add there, Alex, while we're taking some questions?
I'm just kind of behind the scenes here looking at latest HRRR here.
I am too, and that's why I popped the snow map on the screen so I can look at it real quick.
I was looking at it too here. I was like, East Side Motors.
Want to pull it in there, Alex, or do you want to wait?
I don't think we need to.
Okay.
No, it's pretty similar to the 18Z, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
Thanks, Julie. We haven't shouted this out yet. We do have Michigan Storm Chasers apparel exclusively at our merch store, Helicity.co. There's a Michigan Storm Chasers collection on there if you'd be interested in purchasing any of that. There is a whole rest of the store to look through as well. We've got almost 1,000 designs in there, I think. We're pretty close to it. So there's bound to be something for you or a friend or family member in there. Thank you again, Sky Spotters. Did not downtrend at all, getting excited. It's hard to get excited in the southwest side of the state. It's just been lake effect sunshine for me this year. So
if this system ends up having like a huge dry slot that's not expected, I've lost hope for the winter at that point. Chandler's reaction says it all.
Get the boats out, get the swimsuits out, golf clubs out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's another $5 super chat from Cora. Thank you for keeping us informed. My son plows, and it helps this mama's anxiety. Absolutely, we are here to keep you informed and as less anxious as possible. That is our job. Thank you to Jennifer as well. Super sticker, the old $10 super sticker. Thank you very much. Here's one. My kids have a big college track meet at Grand Valley. How much are you thinking for snow from Sparta to Allendale line? We need to know a date for this. If you're looking at Saturday, tomorrow, kind of a quick 2 to 5, probably 2 to 3, 4 is most conservative. Or if we're looking on Sunday, that's a different answer. You can throw the day in the comments. Appreciate that. New to MSC, Birds and Beaks Rescue and Rehab. Turn me on. You guys, are we all meteorologists or do we have full-time occupations? Some of us do have full-time occupations. Joel is our full-time meteorologist here on staff. Ryan, Alex, and myself, and the other members do have a bit of meteorological college experience, as well as many years of storm chasing, many years of forecasting. But Joel is our degreed meteorologist on staff, and some of us do have other occupations. You can read about it at our website, mistormchasers.com, or is it michiganstormchasers.com? One of the two.
Michigan Storm
Michigan
Chasers.
Storm Chasers.
michiganstormchasers.com. Gives a bio about all of us there on the page.
I'm also putting graphics up for the store and for the website there. So the website's now top of your screen.
Ryan, is there a way to zoom in and tell who gets ice and for snow and show the boundary line in southwest Michigan?
Southwest Michigan, we can, although I would urge you guys against that, or against taking this as like gospel truth, for example, just because shifting can and will occur. So it's not going to be an exact. We can zoom in here and run this through the time frame here. It actually is loading up the new model. So let's go back one. There we go. There's tonight, and here's tomorrow. We're going to see some sleet there across the 94 corridor, Coldwater, Schoolcraft, Sturgis, Three Rivers. It's going to move across. It's going to be kind of spotty. And then as we move into that Sunday time frame, again, we get a nice resurgence of freezing precip there. So it stays pretty much south 94 here for the most part. And then as we move through the day on Sunday, that freezing line is going to be very close to Monroe and Lenawee counties especially. So that's going to be the main concern for that freezing rain potential. So I hope that helps.
If you want to put our snow totals map back up there, Ryan, I saw a couple more questions regarding some snow totals. Again, if we don't answer your question right away, please have a little bit of patience with us. We're trying to keep up with all the comments as we go along. Is the 7 to 10 accumulation in a few days? Again, this forecast here is for tonight, starting tonight through Sunday night as well. So that kind of covers the whole weekend there. $10 super chat here. Happy Valentine's Day to Wall Jenny 7, his wife, who told him about the Michigan Storm Chasers. She's a keeper. Hey, what can we say? She gives good advice, it would appear. Appreciate your support. We're not going to throw the new model run yet. It's kind of irresponsible for us to just be throwing model runs around like that. So we will not be showing that at this time. I'm in line 1 to 5 miles away from the 7 to 11 plus zone. Do I consider myself in it? That's kind of a personal preference. If you're in it, sure. If you're not in it, but you're close, sure. Whatever kind of makes you feel good about it. The forecast for you will be pretty similar to both where you are.
It also comes down to shifting as well. A minor shift could shift you either way, further into a lower zone or a higher zone. So a lot goes into that.
Again, that snowfall forecast was not just for tonight. That is for the entire weekend, starting tonight and going through the night on Sunday.
Did we shout out the last super chat there?
From?
Money?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay. You were away doing something.
I was. How does travel look tomorrow morning in Montcalm County? So just your typical 1 to 3 or 4 inch event. So it's not going to be impossible, but we've seen many times this year where even 2 inches of snow can cause major travel impacts across, especially the major interstates, 131, 94, 196. So take it easy. It's going to be slick out there, but it's not going to be impossible by any means. The heavier snow comes Sunday morning, different story. Patrick with a gift membership here at MSC. Thank you, Patrick, and welcome to the team. or the lucky person who just got gifted.
I saw somebody said that we didn't answer their question. I just scrolled back a ways. I can't find it. So if we missed your question, you can ask it again. I cannot scroll back and find it. So,
are you guys still using Radar Omega? Yes, we'll be using that this year for storm tracking. We use a plethora of radar softwares. How much for Jackson? Let's go and pop the screen back up here. Again, 48-hour snowfall total. Jackson, it's on the line of 4 to 8 and 7 to 11. So it can go either way for you guys. I know it's a pretty big spread there, but these gradients, or we call the cutoffs, are quite sharp with this system. So we could see some places with 8 inches, others with 4, others with 11 within a 10-mile period. So it could go either way for you there in Jackson. Do we think flights will be delayed? Probably, especially for Sunday, late Saturday into Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon. Prior to then, probably maybe a few delays. I'm not really knowledgeable on the aviation side of things for delays and such, but I would expect some delays, especially for Sunday.
Generally speaking, with a weather system coming in, they'll slow the traffic down. So airlines is patterning as they're coming in and coming out. So departures and arrivals. Mm-hmm. They're running usually on what's called instrument flight rules versus visual flight rules. So with that, they want to take extra precautions with the weather. So just check your flights before you're leaving. Definitely for any delays or cancellations.
we get a 12-hour outlook for snow totals on West Michigan now through tomorrow by 9 a.m. Should be a widespread 1 to 3, 84 inches for West Michigan.
Here's your snowfall total through tomorrow about noon. Nice blanket of anywhere from 1 inch down here by the border. For example, Lenawee, Adrian has a 1.8 inch report there, and then further north here, 1 inch. But further in the middle, we're getting 2, 4, so it's just 5 or 6 in some spots. The most part, 3 or 4 inches at most. Is it windy expected as well? Sunday morning, yes. A gust up to 35 to 45 is possible. So especially, all the state really has potential for 35 to 45 mile per hour wind gusts. Southern part of Michigan, especially southeast, could be gusting to 45 while the heaviest of snow is ongoing. So a lot of concern there for drifting, blowing snow, low to zero visibilities, maybe meeting blizzard criteria for brief periods of time. That'll be, again, Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon, especially.
I've seen this question here a couple times. My son is to travel from Mount Pleasant to Grand Blanc / Flint tomorrow. What time would be the safest for him to do that? Not everybody all at once.
Sorry, what was that? What time frame?
That's the question. What time frame?
If you have to go, probably Saturday afternoon. If you absolutely have to go this weekend.
Yes, he's traveling tomorrow. What time tomorrow is the safest? Did I just butcher the question? Did I ask it to myself? I might have.
I was zoned out.
I would say that it's okay. I'd say probably the best time. Snow's going to be winding down in the late morning, early afternoon. So right around that noon time is when we're going to see snow starting to taper off in southern Michigan especially. There'll still be some light snow in northern lower Michigan, maybe the southern UP, but that isn't something, we don't see every other day in Michigan, just some general light snow wrapping up. And then you'll have that probably 4 or 5 hour window between noon and probably dinner time or so, where we'll be at the most calm during the weekend stretch here. So if you have a chance to go out, I would do it Saturday afternoon between that noon and dinner time frame before the snow starts ramping back up Saturday evening.
Thank you, Daniel, for the $10 super chat. Thanks, MSC, for the weather reports. That is what we're here for. Appreciate you enjoying them. Looking like Travis will be treacherous on Sunday morning and midday in Detroit. Yes. That'll probably be the worst time to be driving, besides early Sunday morning when most people aren't out driving anyway. There's probably maybe a small chance for some blizzards on the east side of the state, but we're not going to speculate with that too much.
Alex, good question for you here from Marky Mark. Thank you for the super chat. He asks, are there any indications you guys can see that would make the system break apart like the last storm we got? All you, Alex.
Yeah, no, right now, no, we're not seeing indications like that, only because, again, because the system is going to come in multiple parts, we're going to get that lead push of moisture with the first round of snow overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. So as that moisture hangs around, it will start to dry out a little bit. But at the same time, that secondary system will then finally kick back in behind it. So that's the difference. So as you can see, Ryan's pushing that radar. That first push of snow, a little bit of dry air that pushes in, but then that secondary system really kicks in with all that moisture pull up from the south. So unlike the last storm, which was just one storm, this one here is kind of that 1-2 punch and that extra amount of moisture that's pushing up, not just from the south, but from the west as well this time. That's the difference. That's your difference maker this time, is that we don't see the nearly as much dry air to kind of break the system up like last time. That is a concern normally, is dry air coming in, but we just don't see it this time due to that 1-2 punch kind of scenario here with that system moving and rapidly deepening northeast.
Alex, what do you think snowfall rates will look like with this in the heaviest of banding?
We definitely see probably 1 inch per hour rates at times during the heaviest bands. I haven't seen the latest data for that, but I would assume at least in the heaviest bands, we're looking at probably 1 inch per hour rates.
Okay. We're going to give it just a couple more minutes here. We'll answer a couple questions more. And then we're going to be jumping off here for the night. Looks like Ryan is showing the snowfall rates in there. So as you go on the east side, that's where you pick up the heavier snowfall rates there. Those purple colors are heavier snowfall per hour rates. Yes.
Yeah, looks like maybe 1 to 1.5 inch per hour rates. Yep.
Thanks, Jared, for the $5 super chat. Great job, y'all. Appreciate your videos and streams. Thank you, man, for watching. Couldn't do it without you. We've got our again 48-hour snowfall map up here. So this is valid through tonight, through Sunday evening. So depending on where you are in the state, this is how much snow we expect you to get from now through Sunday evening. Is this possibly our last snow of the season? I wouldn't say that at all. Normally, we have at least a little bit more snow as we get through February and March, and typically the annoying snow at the end of April or early May happens more often than not. Here's a good question here. What is the Kuchera snow ratio? Alex, you want to answer that, or I will?
Yeah, it's up to you. I don't care.
Go ahead.
So the Kuchera ratio, snow ratio, was developed by a meteorologist who before was looking for a better way to measure snowfall ratios. You'll generally see, if you are any kind of familiar with forecast models, or even if you're not, we generally have a rule of thumb where for every 10 and more or less now closer to 12 inches of snowfall equals 1 inch of liquid. But we also know that That's not always the case. Each system is a little different. So what Kuchera, the meteorologist, came up with was a way to empirically find the ratio given the temperature from the surface to 500 millibars, which is where we will a lot of the times have any kind of melting going on as the snowflakes are falling, to account for any type of difference in those ratios as different types of systems come through. So it's a more accurate way to measure that snowfall by forecast models versus just a standard 10 or 12 to 1 ratio.
All right. Well, we are going to call it quits here for the night. We're going to jump off and start diving into new model data and make any adjustments that are needed to our forecast and continue to get the products out to you guys overnight and during the day tomorrow. Make sure that you liked and subscribed to our YouTube channel if you're watching there. Hit that bell icon to be notified every time we go live on Michigan Storm Chasers Facebook. Again, make sure you like and follow that page as well. Last super chat here of the night from oh boy, you're going to put me on the spot saying those big, long words. Thank you, Susan. Thank you for doing what we do. Really glad we found it. Yeah, thank you for following us here. We are really appreciative of everyone that follows along. Thank you so much. I do want to take just a quick minute here to shout out the sponsors that we have here at Michigan Storm Chase. I'm going to throw the banners up on the top here. First, I do want to thank Storm Guard Roofing and Construction, based on the east side of the state. They can do all of your roofing, exterior needs. Give them a call if you need any of their products or services there. Lifestyle Exteriors out of the Lansing area. They service Lansing areas to the north. They can do your exterior home needs. Give them a call for a free estimate there. And then Clear Plow Snow Pushers. They have a great tool turning your dolly or hand truck into a snow pusher. No lifting.
Do we lose Chandler?
I think we might have. Uh-oh.
We lost Chandler. Going on what he said there, it turns their tool there turns your hand truck or dolly into a snow pusher. It's pretty cool. No more lifting heavy snow. It's pretty unique. Go and check it out. And also Pro Powder, 269-637-8722. And powder coating needs out of South Haven, residential and commercial use there. And also Guardian Technologies for all your security, audio, video needs. Feel free to give Guardian a call, or visit them at guardiantechnologies.com. Also, thank you to you guys. Shout out to all of our sponsors as well as the general public. You guys who share, like, super chats, members, you guys help keep operations rolling here. But for now, we're going to pop out of here. It's 9 o'clock. Finish up with our evening. Let you guys get on with yours. Tune back in. Chandler did crash, so he's okay. He's not going to jump back in, though. So he says bye to everybody. But we're going to pop back in here tomorrow for you guys for another update. And also stay tuned for our forecast as well. So, Alex, anything you want to say to wrap this up?
No, just thank you to everybody that supports us, subscribes to us, follows us. We appreciate you all. And everyone have a happy Valentine's Day.
Yep. All right. We'll catch you guys tomorrow here. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Stay safe out there.
Night.